evening, everyone, and welcome to the Athletics and Recreation Center on the campus of Queen's University. It is OUA Women's Volleyball Semifinal action here at the Arc. I am Kyle Campo, joined alongside by Alex Elliott. And Alex, should be a great semifinal. We're into the final four here of OUA Women's Volleyball action. And McMaster was here a few weekends ago. Things maybe didn't go the way that they were hoping for in terms of the results. And the Gaels were able to come away with 6 set victories in those two matchups against the McMaster Marauders, but should be a very competitive semifinal here between two of the very best teams in the OUA women's circuit.
Two of the best teams here, and when you come into playoffs, both teams are now 1-0. Regular season doesn't matter. They might have 2 losses on the year to them, 3-0 on the season. So we're in for a tough game. We've had busy time here, and I think both teams are very strong serving teams. Both teams have seen, leading the league in aces per set. So we're going to see a really tough matchup here and really excited to be here and can't wait to get the action started.
And again, so OUA semifinals here. The national championships are being hosted at McMaster University, Alex. So on one side of things, you see the Marauders. They know that their ticket is punched to the national championship, but would certainly love to earn their way there by virtue of taking the OUA championship this year, but are here obviously on the road to take on the Queen's Gaels, who have to go on a bit of a run here in the last couple of games as we work through the rest of the OUA women's playoffs. How does that mindset maybe change a little bit if you come into it? Obviously, short-term goal looking at winning an OUA championship, despite the fact that knowing that a national championship ticket is punched later on.
Yeah, well, all pressure's off, right? You come into a game here as an underdog, knowing that you already have your ticket punched. Queens is in a position where they have to win to get in. They need to win this matchup in order to book their ticket to nationals. Top 2 teams from the OUA will be going. So if you're McMaster, you're coming in this game thinking, pressure's off us. We have our ticket booked. We'll see you in the Burge Gym at this time in a couple weeks from now. The Queens is thinking we got to come out strong and we have to set the tone. Pressure's on them to perform and deliver to book their ticket to nationals. Both
of these teams coming off an impressive OUA quarterfinal victory. The Queen's Gaels here at the Arc last Friday with a convincing victory over the Nipissing Lakers. The McMaster Marauders getting here by virtue of a win on home court at the Burge Gymnasium over the Guelph Griffins. So both teams playing sort of optimal and playing really strong volleyball heading into these semifinals. Should be a great matchup back and forth between these two teams. As we get a look at the starting lineup, things looking very similar for the Queen's Gaels. We see Amy Lemire and Mary Stewart as the 2 outsides, and we'll have Holly Biassi as the libero, Shea Baker running the offense, Hannah DeShano on the one right side, and then Lauren Mellon and Amanda Sixna out of the middle for the Queen's Gaels. We'll get a look at the starting lineup as Ellie Hatashta with the opening serve for McMaster. Forearm set to Stewart. She goes cross, picked up by Hatashta. Set comes in tight and right into the net on the first pass in tight to the net from Hatashta goes Lauren Kolpitz.
Yeah, a bit of nerves maybe on that first pass, that first dig, holding it a bit too tight, and it got tight on the net. The setter coming out of the backcourt couldn't get there. Point for the Gaels.
So McMaster's lineup looking like Jenna Wook, Lauren Kolpitz, Olivia Julian, Sully Sundara, Ellie Hatashta, and Maddie Lutz. And anchoring the defense should be Stratford here for the McMaster Marauders as the forearm set goes over. It's actually going to be Haley Brooks as the libero for the Marauders. Good scramble defensively as Lutz from the swing on the right side. Forearm pass comes inside. Baker to the right side. DeShano tips over the top. Passed up in tight by Brooks to the left side. Hatashta straight down the line, and Ellie Hatashta, a potential difference maker here. Alex, she was not healthy for the 2 games that they played against the Gaels here at the Arc a few weeks ago. Certainly going to be a difference maker that the Gaels have been game planning for all week. Lutz with the serve. Pass comes in tight. Baker, they run the step to Sixna. She's going to run that back set. The approach in tight, and she's able to swing off the hands and out of play.
Yeah, both teams know each other so well after having played each other, but both teams are going to be looking for what can we bring a different look to, especially Mac coming in after losing 6 straight sets to them earlier in the year.
3 deep in serve receive here on the serve by Sixna. Good pass comes in tight to Kolpitz. To the outside, roll over the top by Sundara. Pass left side, adjusting there is DeShano. Pass comes in tight. And red on the block there, Amy Lemire, as Kolpitz Tried to send it over, but a great read by Lemire. Just takes that extra step to the right side. Able to block and put it back for the point for Queens.
Yeah, Queens has got a big block. They got a big front row. They're always so physical at the net. It'll take a bit more than a little dump to get it past this block.
Good deep serve again by Sixna off the arms of Sundara and out of play. And you mentioned, Alex, off the top, service pressure going to be great for both teams here, and then certainly a tactic and a great serve that time by Amanda Sixna. Sixna takes a full approach. A good serve comes in short this time, and having to adjust is Colpitz. Pass up by DeShano, set in tight, tipped over the top by Mellon. Lutz able to get there. Forearm set Colpitz to the outside, off the top of the block. Stewart's there to pick it up. Set to the left side, Lemire! Amy Lemire buries that one straight down to the floor, and what a swing on this left side pin. 5-1 Queens.
Queens' offense is looking great so far. That was really in tempo, in rhythm. Mac's going to have to put a bit more pressure on to get them out of system. Their system, when they're running it well, it's hard to stop.
Another hard, aggressive serve. Doesn't get the spin on that one. Or a little bit of a drop off the float serve. Kind of skated out the back on that serve by Sixna. That'll bring Biasi back in, and the service error puts the Marauders back on the board, and will send Olivia Julian to the service line here for the Marauders. And it's going to give it right back on the service error by Olivia Julian.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? If the other team misses, you want to put the pressure back on them, not just give them back the ball and get the point. Service aces are going to be the name of this match, with both teams trying to serve so tough.
DeShano with the serve and gives one right back. Alex is again trying to find maybe that back line and get the service seed passing high to pull the setter off the net, but goes a little bit too far in the air and out the back. 6-3 the lead now for the Gaels, as Jenna Wook will go back to the service line here. It's a deep serve, passed up by Biasi. Set on the step around to Mellon, off the forearms and back into play. They'll try it again. Push left side. Lemire tips over the top. Lutz is there. And the point's going to go to the Gaels.
Yeah, tough one there after such a great dig on the back turf, after an aggressive serve. To end up on the net on something like that, it's a tough point to lose there, but really good dig in the backcourt. So great stop by Mac's defense.
7-3. It's Olivia Julian in towards the attack line, and we'll get our first timeout of the opening set. And again, the ace there, Alex, pushes the lead to 5 here for the Gaels. They're up 8-3, forcing Marauders head coach Nathan Jansen into the first set timeout.
Yeah, just early on, just serving and passing. A bit of miscues there, setting-wise, not finding your hitters. Maybe just a bit of nerves right now, coming into a hostile environment, a different environment, into your second playoff game of the year. They're going to have to be able to pull something out and build off this. Queens has looked great so far, serving tough, maybe a couple misses, but they've kind of been flawless on all fronts. So hopefully we'll see Mac be able to respond a bit this set and make it a bit more tight of a game.
So having a look here at the regular season sort of comparison between these two sides, the Gaels on the left, Marauders on the right. An 18-2 record against a 15-5 record separating second and third. Kills per set, the Gaels second in the conference, and attacking as a team, a hitting percentage at .270 as a team throughout the season, Alex. And then looking at service aces per set, you mentioned these are 1 and 2 in the OUA in terms of conference. Very microscopic separation between those two in terms of service pressure throughout the year. We'll see if that continues here throughout the course of the match. I'm sure it will. Out of the timeout, they run the step to Lauren Mellon. Able to get the block scheme moving a bit, and a great swing by Mellon, and the Gaels offense continuing to click here, Alex. They're up 9-3.
Great offense. Way to run that step around. Queens is getting good, clean swings on everything, where Mac is kind of having to throw it around a bit. See if they can sort that out a bit with their setter and their hitters to get more of a rhythm.
Still serving at the line is Lemire. Colpitz out of the pipe. But Julian off the forearms and out of play. She swings through without a block set. It's off the forearms there of DeShano and off and out of play. And the Marauders able to side out. They're back within 5. Colpitz back to serve here for the Marauders. It's a deep float serve. Biasi plays it up. Thought maybe that one had eyes about going long, but getting contact on it, trying to keep it central, but service ace for the Marauders.
It's those in-between decisions that'll kill you. Is it in, is it out? And then last second trying to throw the hands out at it a bit too late.
Kopitz makes an adjustment and comes short this time on the overpass. What a pickup though by Biasi. And then scrambling to try to bring it back in there was Mellon. Maybe just trying to overcorrect there was Lauren Mellon, and gets a little bit too much pace on it, goes well out the back, and back-to-back points now for Mac. Kopitz with the serve again. Good clean pass in tight this time. They set it on the pipe to DeShano. Set left side. Off is Sundara. And the Marauders continuing to put some points together as their offense starting to click here now. Alex, they're back within 2.
Yeah, great time out there by Coach Nate Jansen. Settle the team down a little bit, bringing off 3 straight points there to make it more of a match.
9-7 here in the early stages of this opening set. OUA women's volleyball semifinals. Free ball sent over by Stewart. Pass comes in tight. Kopitz to the outside, off the block. And what a read this time by Baker and Mellon. They set that high pinball to the outside to Sundara, but the block timing on point there for the Gaels.
Yeah, they're one of the best blocking teams in the OUA, penetrating and so aggressive at the net, not leaving much room for the opposing team's hitters.
Deep float serve back here for the Gaels off the hand there of Mellon. Good cross-court swing that time by Lutz off the arms there of Mary Stewart. And up into the stands, it's 10-8.
What a swing there by Lutz, going sharp cross, coming almost inside the attack line. They're not going to be denied twice by that block. It was fully formed on Queen's side. She carved it right inside. Great swing by Lutz.
Marauders back to within 2. Sundara with the spinner. Off the arms there of Lemire. They're going to call a double or onto the net. There's going to be a lift call as the ball off the forearm platform there from the Gaels gets eaten up by the net a little bit. There'll be a lift called on the Gaels. 10-9 Marauders. In the blink of an eye out of the timeout, back within 1. This time don't get the friendly roll, gets eaten up by the tape. Bounces back and it's 11-9 for Queens.
Yeah, pretty aggressive serve. You heard the whole crowd kind of in shock going, whoa, where'd that come from? Hopefully Mac's going to want to see a lot more of that as the match goes on, and it's going to be up to Queens' 4-person receive to get that ball up in the air.
Deep float serve. Pass to the right side to Lutz, tips over the top, and a great adjustment that time by Maddie Lutz. Seeing where the defensive scheme was set up in behind the block. Had a couple swings on this right side pin, Alex. That time just takes a little bit off, rolls it in. Good find there by Lutz. Hatashta, deep float serve. Pass comes in tight, they run it to Sixna. Set back to the left side pin off the top of the block, and it's tooled off hands. Block there once again for the Gaels, but the adjustment on the swing that time out of the left side by Julian. Goes into the block and out of play.
Yeah, a couple great plays so far by Julian. Just either got stuffed that one time, but the last 3 attacks found a way to score.
Serve comes cross court this time, and a good find on the response by Mary Stewart. Is able to swing out of the right side pin on that rotation, and now she'll go back to the line. Gaels back in front. Stewart to the service line here for the Gaels. Good serve by Stewart, but a better pass on receive. Right side pin into the antenna. The attacking error that time from Lutz. Set from Kopitz comes to the right side, but unable to score without it going into the pin, and they'll make an adjustment.
Yeah, they left her the line there. She had a clean shot down the line. The block was set up cross court, but she couldn't find it, just barely tipping off the antenna.
So 13-11 off the attacking error this time from the Marauders. It'll be Stewart back to the service line here for Queens. The float serve upcoming from Stewart. Pass by Julian comes in tight. They get the set back to her off the top of the block. Stewart there to pick it up. Set to the left side, Lemire! And Amy Lemire for the second time this set. Swings straight over top of the block and finds the open floor. And Lemire getting rolling on this left side.
Yeah, great swing by Lemire, and just really great job by everyone on that. Like passing the ball up, the middle's working around in transition, staying back in the play, putting a lot of pressure on Mac's block. They were only able to get one block on that, and when you're in one-on-one situations, it's a lot more of an advantage to the attacker.
So the Marauders do a nice job out of the last time out, Alex. They were down 9-3 and able to claw their way back in and pull to within a single point. They were tied at 11, and then a 3-point run here out of that separation for the Gaels. forces the Marauders into taking their second timeout midway through this opening set. But perhaps a good strategy to take that timeout here now and try to get their way back in and generate some momentum coming out of the second, and then fighting their way towards the end here.
Yeah, I think it was more so thinking about, you have a really tough server on the back of the line who's just been ripping off hard float serves, putting pressure on your end. Maybe you're going to ice the server a little bit, get your team a little breath of fresh air, but it's tough when you use both timeouts so early. There's a lot of set left, and usually you want to try to save one of those timeouts for later on when you get past those 20s. Let's see if it works to their advantage though now to try to stay in this set. It's only a 3-point deficit, it's not that big. So they're probably going to want to side out here. They're probably thinking, who are we going to look to, who are we going to go to? Maybe if it's a perfect pass, they'll look to Jenna Wook in the middle to try to get a quick point.
So Stewart will continue her service run out of the timeouts. We'll see if the timeout from the Marauders works to freeze the server. Good pass up in tight though by Sundara to the right side. Straight down the line, Maddie Lutz. And a great side out by the Marauders out of the timeout.
Great side out, and exact same shot, right? The last time she took it off the antenna, this time more of a free swing down the line and just beat the libero with pace.
Now it's Lutz to the service line, goes cross court at Stewart. Set goes led inside to DeShano. Set to the left side pin, tipped over by Julian, there to scramble to pick it up, and a little in tight to the net as Lemire had to try to scramble. But back-to-back points now out of that timeout again, Alex. They're back within one.
Yeah, exactly how you want your team to respond coming out of the timeouts, especially taking them early.
Float serve this time gets eaten up by the net. It's short on the service error by Lutz. Gives a 2-point advantage back to the Gaels. And that'll bring Amanda Sixna back to serve here for Queens. Deep serve, and it's a service error as Sixna goes out the back and pulls McMaster back within one. And it'll bring Olivia Julian to the service line, which will bring Sully Sundara back to the front court. And float serve, passed up in tight by Lemire. Baker to the right side, DeShano off the arms and out of play. And Hannah DeShano, Alex, had an outstanding game against Nipissing last week, and see if they can continue to get her rolling, their first kill of the night.
Yeah, she's the key to the success for this team, so getting her involved early and often is what you want. We haven't seen anything until that point, so look for, as we progress throughout this set, that Queens is trying to get her more involved in the offense.
We'll likely see her involved from the C as well here as Baker's back into the front row. DeShano to the service line. Off the top of the tape, pass comes in tight from Wook. I think point's going to go to the Marauders. Interfering with the set on second contact there, Alex was maybe thinking it was close to the plane on top of the tape, but able to see it there is interfering with that set.
Yeah, Lemire got a little aggressive there. You never want to be beat by the setter as a left side. So jumping up early, but when you see her have two hands up going to set it, you got to be very disciplined and not reach over the net, just making sure you're staying on your own plane.
To be a serving sub here for the Marauders is coming in as Victoria Potvin. C-ball, they try to go down the line there to DeShano. You can see that left side shoulder turning inwards and squaring up down the line, but a little bit over-correcting maybe to that right side and goes out of bounds.
Yeah, trying to get her involved in the offense because we haven't seen it much yet. Look for more of that. It just barely missed out the sideline.
16-16, set into the middle and a great find down the corner on the swing there by Lauren Mellon. And getting that middle involved, Alex will certainly try to open things up on the pins here, and what a great swing by Mellon.
Yeah, we haven't seen much middle attack so far, and maybe that's why the block, and there's getting a lot of touches on the block because they haven't established that middle presence to hold them home. It's late in the set to try to establish it now, but maybe they're thinking the reverse. We're going to use the middle late and use our outsides early.
17-16, the advantage now for the Gaels as Lemire is back to the line. A great serve by Lemire, and Lutz just trying to keep it central and throwing the hands up there to take ownership of maybe putting way too much pace on that second contact to just try to keep it alive, but sends it into the stands instead.
It's all about limiting errors, right? If you make a bad pass, the next play's got to be good, even if it's just trying to get the ball over to keep you in the rally. Compounding your errors is going to kill you, especially in a playoff match.
And Lemire takes a lot off on the serve this time as Brooks passes up. Colpitz to the outside, tipped over the top by Sundara. Able to scramble to get there is DeShano, but a great read by Sundara just to get the tip over top of the block, and the Gaels defense a little bit too deep on that one.
It's been open a lot, that tip play, so let's look to see if Queens is going to crash a bit more to take that away, because that's where Mac's been scoring.
Colpitz with a float serve. Baker to the outside, off the block, and it's read by Lutz as she combines with Hatashta. Deflected back to the open floor, and we're tied at 18. And the Gaels still with both timeouts in their back pocket. We'll see if maybe one of those comes into play here to finish off the set. Colpitz, pass comes up, set to the left side, tipped over by Stewart, able to find it that time. Having to scramble to try to get there as it's picked up, but good hustle by the Marauders, but drops down to the open floor, and the tip works that time for Queens.
The pancake, the hustle, it would have been great to see if they could get that one over for a little bit of a scramble play, but great smart play on the tip and seeing it was open right behind the setter.
Off the top of the tape, and that's going to get sent back over on a free ball. Good hustle by the Marauders to get there to keep it alive. Stewart off the block, and it's going to get tipped out on the tool. A great read that time by Stewart, seeing where the block was set up and able to turn down the line a little bit more, force hard contact into those hands. Goes well off and out of play, and it's a tool and a point back to Queens. They're up by 1, 19-18.
Yeah, you see it, they bring their left side back, or right side back into pass here, changing the look.
Off the arms there of Brooks. They've actually got a sub in as well, and the block there by Stewart. As they brought in Emma McKinnon, Alex, on that left side. Excuse me, on the right side for Lutz. But it's now
trying to change the look up to bring a different left side into pass and then push your setter up, so it's a lot easier for your right side to get into transition to hit.
Pass comes up from Brooks. They'll set Colpitz to the outside to McKinnon off the top of the block. And Lemire gets contact on it, but unable to get any heights, and it goes off the arms and rolls out of play, back to within 2.
Interesting how you have Lutz coming right back in, right? That was a strategic play to try to score that 1 point. Now let's move it back, standard, get our offense back going. We know what our block defense is going to be with Lutz on the front.
So back to serve is Sundara, and that's going to go. It paints the back line as that spin serve from Sully Sundara dips so well at the tail end of that service path there, Alex, and paints the back line. It's 21-20.
Yeah, out of contact. Everyone said out right off the back, but she just had so much topspin that it was able to come down and hit that back line.
Sundara again, pass on the overpass, going to get swung down, and the Marauders are back level, 21-21. And a timeout taken here by coach Ryan Ratushniak. And a great job by the Marauders. They've scored the last 3 points, and that strong service pressure from Sully Sundara. One was going in and landing in for an ace. One was an overpass that led to a swing at the net. And a lot of momentum generated here, and we're tied at 21 late in this opening set.
Yeah, as we kind of talked about earlier, right? Service pressure was key, and we've seen aces on both sides, multiple aces. You know, both are averaging 2.4 a set. We've seen them almost both go 2 or 3 aces so far. In this timeout, what you're looking for is, you know, we just need a 2-pass, right? She's ripping off spin serves as hard as she can, and it's either ace or miss from what we've seen so far from Sundara. So if your Queens is passing, you know, we're going to go 4 across the back and just try to get it up and give ourselves a chance to get a nice set 2-pass swing on it, or, you know, sucking in the block and tip. You don't need anything special. You don't need anything perfect when a ball is coming at this much pace. You're just trying to keep it in play, keep it in front of you, and give your setter some options to come back and swing.
So we'll see if Sundara keeps the same sort of serve mechanics, goes through the same routine, or see if the timeout from the Gaels sort of ices Sundara a little bit from the line. It's like the same serve receive. They got 4 passers in here. Trying to get contact up, as Alex mentioned, trying to just get at least a 2-pass up here to try to have some setting options or attacking options. They run to Stewart, it goes cross. Pass comes up, set to the left side. Off the top of the block from Julian. Able to keep it alive there is Sundara, but it's blocked by Sixna and Shea Baker. And a huge point at the net, won by Queens.
Huge point this time in the match. You know, off-speed shot, middle hands are up, and just to be able to force it down with the 2 hands, what a block by Sixna.
Great timing there by Sixna and Shea Baker to close in on that block to end the McMaster run. Queens up by 1, and they give it right back on the deep serve. It floats out the back on the service there by Baker. And we're tied at 22, and back to the line now is Ellie Hatashta. Shallow float or shallow receive here for the Gaels. Passed up by Lemire. Set to the right side, off the block by Stewart. And right there is Jenna Wook. And the Marauders have the lead, 23-22.
Yeah, it looked a bit low and inside, and low and inside is a bit dangerous for a hitter. You know, that middle blocker is going to love when the ball's lower and inside. Drop that inside hand, and it makes for the biggest blocks of the match when there's a set like that.
So 23-22 now as the Gaels have used their second timeout. And McMaster up late in this set and have really sort of stayed the course here, Alex. There have been moments where it looked like the Gaels were going to get that separation as recently as 21-18. But a great run back the other way here, sort of a 5-1 stretch here late in this set by McMaster. But we'll see if the Gaels can get a side out here and get a clean serve receive and try to get their multiple attacking options involved here to pull level at 23.
Yeah, Mac's just playing with no pressure. We're like, there's no pressure going in this. We're going to do what we can. We know we're going to nationals, and maybe Queens is feeling it a bit. Like, we have to, you know, it's 23-20. This is on the line for us. We need to win this set. We need to pull it out. You're maybe not thinking that, but it's in the back of your mind. So let's see if they can push through and find a way to pull out of this set and go up 1-0 in this playoff match.
Atashta stays well off the service line, and it's going to get pulled back in by Biasi, sent over in the free ball by Sixna. Bit of a scramble, though, on the free ball pass back over, and the Marauders give one back the other way. Here's an opportunity for Queens. Left side, DeShano off the block. Lutz angles it back to the open floor, and it's set point Mac.
Yeah, Mac didn't do very well with that free ball and almost gave it right back to Queens, but somehow their block defense came in clutch in the end. Set point for Mac.
Natashta serving once again, goes cross, passed up, good pass on receive by Lemire. DeShano, Stewart on that right side pin comes straight across. Kind of clips Lauren Kolpitz a little bit high up into the face. We'll see if Kolpitz is okay.
Yeah, always need to take a quick break to make sure they're okay. She kind of ate that ball right off the chin, so came with a pretty high pace, pretty high. We'll see if Coach Jansen needs to make a substitution or if they're going to be able to take care of it in the interim. Kind of tough on Queen's side here, right? It's not really a timeout, but then all of a sudden your server's going back, having to serve at game point, and it's an automatic extra time to make them think a bit more about it. Really tough. We'll see if Queens will be able to come through and put a top serve in. You know, in any type of volleyball, you need to put in pressure from the service line to win. If you're going to throw in lollipops, the other team's going to take advantage. So we know both these teams can serve tough. Let's see if they can come through in this challenging moment when it's game point.
Got McMaster athletic therapist Zoe Allenson having a look at Lauren Kolpitz, sort of see how things are going after that, again, that cross-court attack that came a little bit high, and looks like Kolpitz is going to be okay. Had Chase Victoria enter the substitution zone, but was sort of pushed away quickly, and it looks like Kolpitz is going to be okay, and still set point here for the Marauders. But back to the service line for Queens is Mary Stewart, who stole a bunch of points from the line already here for the Gaels. See if she can extend the set here with another. Deep ball passed up by Brooks, pulled off the net there is Kolpitz, and a swing well off, and it's blocked but kept alive. Going to get sent back over on the free. Opportunity here for Queens on free ball transition. Right side set, straight down. Hannah DeShano, and what a time to set DeShano on that right side pin, Alex.
I think everybody in the gym knew it was going to DeShano, and she finds a way to swing hard cross court and bury that for the kill and tie this game up.
24-24 with Stewart on the service line. We're going to extras here in this opening set. Another hard float serve. Good pass up that time by Sundara. Right side to Lutz. Blocked and out of play. The point goes to the Marauders. That one by the slimmest of margins off the top of the block and out.
And Lutz was reaching for it too afterwards. She reached with the left hand, decided to pull it back last second, and it lands just inches wide.
25-24. Passed up by Lemire. Baker gets there. Back to Lemire on the swing off the top of the block. And just a great heads-up play that time by Lemire, seeing where the block scheme was set up. Set was a forearm set well to the outside of that left side pin. It just takes a bit of pace off of it, rolls into the hands, and it gets all fumbled up and out of play.
Yeah, smart play. Just taking it off the outside hand. It's a really easy way to score as an outside hitter.
25-25. Passed up there by Sundara. To the left side to Julian. Tips down the line. Good pass up by Stewart. Right side, down the right pin. No, gonna just go out the back. as DeShano trying to find that back right corner in position 5. But it goes out the back, and it's 26-25 again for Mac. Another set point here. It's Julian to the service line. Float serve by Julian. Passed up. Good pass by Lemire on receive. Set to DeShano. Down the line again. And when the set's on the line, Alex, they continue to get DeShano involved, and just great execution on that ball to the right side pin.
Great execution. Even though she's going back to serve, I still expect her to be involved in this offense because she's so critical to pull that block and spread this offense out. 26-26, and DeShano steals one from the service line, and the McMaster serve receive, having their wires crossed, and a tough time for that to drop in. You never want to hear you from the backcourt. You know, you want to take ownership, say my ball. You got to know what the seam's coming.
Set point, and it's given right back though on the service error by DeShano. So steals one from the line on the miscommunication, but gives it right back. And we're tied at 27. Back to serve is Jenna Wook. See if the serve receive, it makes any adjustments here, and it's into the net. Short serve by Wook. And it's set point for the Gaels.
Yeah, 4th time this match that we've seen back-to-back service errors from sides. When one side makes a mistake, the other one gives the ball right back. That can't happen at playoff volleyball. You want to be able to steal the match. When they're going to give you a point, you take it and you run with it and put it right back down on the other side.
So Amy Lemire back to serve for the Gaels. It's another deep float serve. Passed well in tight by Julian on the step. Off the hands there of Biasi, who's able to get a good contact on it. And McMaster ties it back up, and we're going to get a substitution here as Chase Victoria is going to come into the game and serve here for Colpitts, maybe try to get a little bit more service pressure from the line here and bring Colpitts to the bench.
Yeah, tough moment to come in. 28, this is what you live for. Let's see if she can put it in a good serve.
Passed up, it's an overpass and out of play. And Chase Victoria with the service ace gives another set point here to the Marauders, 29-28. Victoria getting serve receive, or serve location instruction. Passed up in tight, great job this time on receive. They set to DeShano! And out of the pipe, Alex with again the set on the line. The 3rd straight set point for the Marauders at the Gaels side out with an attack by Hannah DeShano.
She's just willing this team to stay in it. She wants it. She loves this moment. She loves the spotlight, and she's delivering.
29-29. We continue on. We're going to go into the 30s in this opening set. Passed up by Brooks. Set into the middle, tipped over the top. Able to get there is DeShano. Set her to the pipe again, off the top by Lemire. And Amy Lemire with the tool out of the middle, out of the back row, 30-29 Gaels.
Not something you see very often, a tool off the side of the block out of the bounce from pipe on the middle. It's not something you see very often, but it works, it scores, and we're up by 1 for the Gaels.
Set point to Lauren Mellon on the service line. Set to the back row. What a great set that time, though, by Colpitts. Was able to find Hatashta coming inside, just a little flip behind her, and a great run that time out of the middle.
What a great 61. This late in the match, we haven't seen much presence in the middle. To bring it out there, Queens did not see that coming. What a set.
We're tied at 30 in the opening set. Passed up by Stewart. Set back to Stewart on the left side. Stewart out of play. Out the width of the court as Stewart turns down the line. And it's another set point here for the Marauders with Hatashta serving. Sundara serving. So expect some pace here on the green light from Sundara. Passed up there by DeShano. High ball set to the left side, rolled over the top. Out of system ball coming back for the Marauders. Goes to the outside to Julian. Passed up by Lemire. Set to the right side, DeShano out of the C. Finds the back corner. And once again, ice in her veins. Hannah DeShano, C-ball attack, 31-31.
Every time, just give her the ball, right? She's scored every time past the 20s that you fed her. Just keep looking DeShano. If I'm Mac, I'm just going to be keying and trying to put a double on that every time.
And to the line to serve. Pass comes in tight. They set to Lutz, who kind of goes with a throw tip from the right side. To the left side, Stewart. Off the forearm, stays in play off the touch there by Brooks. Cross court, passed up by Biasi. Set to the left side, Stewart takes a bit of pace off, but they go at Colpitts. Out of system ball to the left side. Off the block and out of play. And what an outstanding first set we're seeing here, Alex. Another set point here to the Marauders. They're up 32-31.
High quality volleyball on both sides, just both teams scrambling to keep everything alive. Let's see, I'm not sure who's going to take it. I have no idea. Big serve coming up here, though.
And a serve into the net by Ellie Hatashta. And we continue on here. And the opening set of the OUA Women's Volleyball Semifinals is the first leg of a doubleheader here at the Arc tonight. And we're into the 30s in the opening set. 32. And Stewart to the line to serve here for the Gaels. Good pass off the forearm, scrambling to get there is Brooks. Just going to get sent over on the free there by Wook. Set, right side, tip straight down as DeShano sees the block set up by Julian. Just sends it down to the floor. Good read there by DeShano.
It's just too easy, right? The block was late, kept closing out there. She saw it floating across, can just wipe it off the outside hand.
Set point Queens, and it's Stewart to the line. See if she can put an end to the set with a strong serve and maybe earn the ace. Falls in, and the ace from Mary Stewart puts an end to a marathon opening set, and the Gaels take it 34-32 and lead the match 1-0.
I can't believe you just called that there. Call the ace at the end of the set. We know this game's about pressure, service aces, service errors. Both teams played really well down this set. That's a tough one for Mac to lose after being able to come back from 21-17 to make it a match, make it a set, really be in it. But Queens found a way. All thanks to DeShano. She found a way to score at all times. I think Mac could have done a bit better job late in that set, keying on her, right? You know where the ball's going to go. Everyone in the gym knows where it's going to go at that point in the game. It's going to go to DeShano. But it didn't matter at times because she found a way to score.
Absolutely, and handed to DeShano again. So many set point opportunities for the Marauders where they need a side out to try to extend the set. They run to DeShano, and just so much success out of the execution to try to keep the set alive. And then Mary Stewart is one of the strongest servers for this Queens Gaels team, and is part of the reason why they've had so much success from the service line. In terms of aces per set, they were first in the OUA in that capacity and did a very good job there of finding a way to generate that service pressure late in that opening set. Now, if you're the Marauders, coming out of a really strong opening set, they played very well. They're on the road. They're in the OUA semifinals and had a couple of opportunities. They had multiple set points, maybe 3 or 4, where they had an opportunity to try to close out. Things don't fall their way. And as you mentioned, Alex, a really tough opening set to lose when they did play so well. But if you're Coach Nate Jansen, maybe talking things over here now, how do you try to reset a little bit, put that set out of mind, and try to regroup here and pull even after the second?
Yeah, you want to pull the positives from that set. We dug ourselves a hole. We found a way back in the match. We probably shouldn't have been in that match because of how far of a hole we dug ourselves. Right? He burned both of his timeouts before 15. Right, so he's got to be very positive with this group of what they were able to do to come back. But then it's going to be, look what we did for the last 10 points. Let's do that for the first 10, right? Let's put the pressure on early. We found ways that we could score off this team, tip and roll to the pot, and put pressure on them from the service line. So I think it's just a lot of positive talk. Probably a bit of adjustments they want to make, right? For the first half, maybe it was part of their game plan to not let Hannah DeShano play. Serve it to spots where you put pressure on their setter, taking DeShano out. Sometimes when she's on the right side, they'll tip to that spot to pull her in, to force it, so that she's not an option in their attack. It's probably part of their tactics that kind of went away towards the end of the set, where all of a sudden she was involved, and every time they set DeShano the ball, she was able to score.
So an excellent first set between these two sides, and fitting for an OUA women's volleyball semifinal match between the Queens Gaels and the McMaster Marauders. A 34-32 opening set victory for the Queens Gaels as the teams get set to come back onto the floor to start set number 2.
34-32. When have you ever said that, even during the regular season? It's unheard of to go almost 10 points over in extra time. That's a lot of volleyball to start off early. We'll see which team's going to be able to bounce right back with such a quick break and quick turnaround.
So we'll see. It looks like most of the lineup composition going to stay the same here, as we have 2 liberos for the Marauders, Haley Brooks and Christina Stratford. Rest of the group staying the same, as we've got Lutz and Brooks And Wook, Hatashta, Sundara, and Julian, and Lauren Kolpitz running the offense. And Alex, having a look at the stats from that opening set, anything that stands out?
The thing that stands out is everything's even across the board. They're even in kills. The hitting percentage is almost the same. They've had 4 service aces. They've had 5 service errors on both sides. They've scored 24 points versus 26 earned. This game, there was a reason it was 34-32 because it is so tight.
Dead even between the Gaels and Marauders after the opening set. We'll see what the second set has in store for an encore. And we'll start with Stewart from the service line, who finished that opening set with an ace. They run the pipe to Sundara, and it's out the back. She thought maybe it had clipped the baseline on that swing through, but the attacking error from Sully Sundara gives the first point of the second set to Queens.
Interesting way to start too, with 3 attackers up front, but still going to the pipe. Almost like a half a block up there, and almost a free swing. Really great, smart set to start off here, but just barely a miss.
Great serve by Stewart this time, goes off of Julian, who's able to swing and get there, and then Stewart with a great dig to pick it up. Set into the middle, kind of rolls off the hand there of Wook, and then takes a friendly hop off the hands of Amanda Sixna. A little bit scrambly on both sides, but the point does go the way of the Marauders that time.
But you see what Coach Nate Jansen's trying to do with his setter. Both first attacks were out of the middle. Control the middle of the floor. That's what they want to do early.
Biasi on receive, forearm set by Baker, gets it up high. Good cross-court swing that time by DeShano. In a good position there was Lutz, but maybe had the wrist flex back a little bit, couldn't quite keep that ball in front of her.
It's sometimes hard when the ball's coming at such a fast pace. You're expecting it low to come off your forearms. When it comes at your head, you're just trying to throw the hands up really fast. And sometimes it's too little, too late.
Serve by Sixna, finds the corner, and the ace by Sixna gives a 2-point cushion here in the early stages of this second set. 3-1 Queens. Sixna back to serve again, trying to score another from the line. Good pass up by Brooks, forearm set by Kolpitz to the outside to Julian, off the hands, and a good find that time by the first year, Olivia Julian.
Great swing by the first year. She's been very impressive so far tonight. That's a good hard swing, not being afraid of the block, taking it right across, and just busting the seam for the score.
Back to within a single point. It's 3-2 here for the Gaels. Julian with the serve off the arms there of Lemire, able to get there as Mellon. Good pursuit of the ball and sent over on the free ball. Passed up by Stratford. Set by Kolpitz. Turned down the line. No touch on the block, and the attacking error this time. And it goes out the back, and it's 4-2 Queens.
Yeah, really tough when you serve tough and you get a free ball back, to not get a perfect pass on that free ball and leave yourself with a 2 pass and 1 option. It's going to be really hard to stay in the game and score if you can't take advantage of those opportunities.
Lutz calling the ins and outs out the back. And we'll see that one go the length of the floor, and it's a service error that time by the Gaels. Gives one back to Queens, and it's going to be Jenna Wook. Service line here for the Marauders. Good hard serve by Wook, but a pass up nicely by Biasi. Lemire off the block, good scramble by Biasi, but it goes out the side. Marauders pull even, we're tied at 4. Great blocks by both sides. Wook continues the service run here for the Marauders. By Biasi from the step. Mellon is blocked, but it's out of play. Good find by Mellon. The Marauders block, anticipating the step. They're able to get there and make contact, but off the hand. Lemire back to serve now for the Gaels. They lead 5-4. Good serve by Lemire, but it's blocked in. Brooks picks it up. Sends to the left side. Sundara off the top of the block. Get there is Shano. Left side off the net on the roll there by Stewart. Sends to the left side. Sundara out the back. Contact on the block. They're going to say no. As they're looking to the downside official to see if there was contact. And looks like the downside official, not the lines person. So Andy Cameron looks like he's maybe calling the touch off the block.
Yeah, it's an interesting call there from the down official to see the block. It was on the up official's side, and both linesmen didn't see anything. Really tough point for Queens there, but you just gotta move forward, right? You can't argue with the calls. The call's the call. You move on. Let's see how they can respond.
So off the swing that time by the Marauders, we're tied at 5. Pass comes in tight, set on the step again to Mellon. Lauren Mellon able to get there, back in tight to the tape. And it's set over. Forearm set to the left side. Stewart swings away, but the block is there by Hatashta and Lutz. 6-5 Mac.
Yeah, and it's really tough there for Stewart. She had to come so far inside. She's almost attacking in like zone 4 of the court. It was almost in the middle, and it made it really easy for Max Middle to close and make no gap.
Light serve that time by the Marauders, tipped over top of the block. Kopitz has to take first ball. Stratford on the set to the left side. Good pickup by Biasi. Able to get there is DeShano, but runs out of real estate, and the contact goes into the stands. And another point earned here for the Marauders. They're up 7-5.
Yeah, really heavy swing there from Sundara, just going hard cross court and beating the libero.
So 2-point gap here now for McMaster. As Lauren Kopitz back to serve here for McMaster. Shallow receive here for Queens, so it should be a light float serve here. As he passed up there by Biasi. Set into the middle, and the step that's pushed back by the Marauders block. Left side push this time. Stewart, and it's blocked. Lutz, Hatashta again. 3-point lead for Mac.
Great set outside. She had room. Mac's just taking that cross court away. They're really forcing them, saying, we'll leave you the line open. You can hit the line and just try to beat us cross. And they're not being able to beat that block right now. They
run the pipe this time, but a little bit too far inside the attack line on the set. Tipped back over. Good pickup, though, as Stewart was able to get underneath it. But point does go to McMaster. They're up 9-5, and the first time out of the opening set is going to go to Queens. So a great response after a tough opening set loss, Alex. But McMaster able to come right back, and they force the Gaels into taking the first time out of the second set.
Yeah, just putting a lot of pressure on with their block defense, right? They were able to find some ways to stop this offense that's been very strong all season long for Queens. Just giving them some different looks and putting the pressure on in different ways. Would have loved to see some scramble, right? Like, I wasn't sure that ball hit the floor. We both looked at it thinking, that's still up. The refs thought it was still up too, maybe, but then no one went for it. So I think just being able to stay with it a bit more right now for Queens and put the pressure on Mac. Mac's kind of found their way of how they want to play this set and change some things to give different looks to this Queens offense. It's going to be on them to respond. Really quick timeout. They're already back on the floor, and I think it's just because they needed a break, just to mentally reset. It's a long set in that first one to come out with the win. Mac's found a way to respond and think, we're going to keep playing the same way no matter what. Now it's on Queens to get, a bit of dig a bit deeper and find a way to come back. They got DeShano in the backcourt. Haven't seen much middle action so far from the Queens side. Maybe they look to integrate that a bit more in their offense so they can open up their left side to swing freely.
So coming out of the timeout, Kopitz continuing to serve. It's a deep serve, passed up by Biasi. Run the step to Mellon, and it's blocked. Sully Sundara to the open floor, 10-5 McMaster.
What a block. That was a great dive outside. Left no room down the line for her to swing.
Kopitz close to the tape this time. A good pass up on receive. They run the step again, and Sundara is there able to read it. Pass to Sundara again off the top of the block. They'll recycle. Kopitz to the right side to Lutz, and it's blocked out of play. And the tool off hands, and the McMaster run continues. They're up 11-5.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see for the Gaels, is if you get blocked a couple times and you start to get tentative and you go off speed and you tip and roll, it's going to be challenging for you to continue to score. Mac's block defense has been so strong that you really want to change some things, but by tipping it right over the block, they were right there to recycle transition for the kill.
So Queens making a substitution. They're going to bring Claire Carter into the front row as Mellon gets the step again. It's picked up defensively by Julia and sent over. Sundara able to stay on top of it and swing. There defensively was Carter, but goes off forearms and rolls out of play. Great job by Sully Sundara to stay aggressive on that third contact and what otherwise looked like a free ball coming back.
Yeah, another timeout here, right? Trying to stay in this match. Being down by 7, it's kind of not similar because it's down a bit more points than what we saw last set, but you don't want this set to run away from you, right? You need to find a way to stay in it, and especially if you're struggling in a rotation, right? This might be that rotation that Mac saw. They circled it on the sheet beforehand, saying, we want Sundara on the middle blocker running the step, right? We know that we like that matchup. So they got the matchup they want, and Queens has got to find a way to get out of this tough matchup they're in right now in the rotation that they're stuck in.
So great separation by the Marauders here, though. They've pushed it to a 12-5 advantage and forced the Gaels into burning both of their timeouts here in the early stages of this second set. And again, have made a substitution as Lemire has come off the floor. They've brought in Claire Carter.
It's interesting though too, right? They've run 3 steps in a row, right? You got DeShano on the backcourt and she's running the C-ball. You know, maybe you try to get a different look. Run the middle and quick and then flip it back to DeShano on the C-ball to still run that same zone, but with a different look, a different attacker.
So continuing her service run here is Colpitz. Deep serve, passed up by Biasi. Set to Baker, and on cue there, Alex, they run it to DeShano, but it lands in. Unable to get the set chemistry there between Baker and DeShano, having to adjust at the last second instead of swinging out of the pipe. It's just sort of that sort of set push out of the back row and off the hands and out of play. Colpitz, another deep serve. Biasi passes in tight this time to Carter on the left side, tipped over the top. Stratford, right side push to Lutz off the block. Good pickup though defensively. Off the block and out of play. Usually it was Stewart who actually got subbed out for Carter. As Lemire with the attack there for the Gaels, and they're able to find a way to side out, put an end to the run by the Marauders, but it's 13-6.
Yeah, they're gonna back. Their game plan going forward is going to be serve tough. They got to serve tough to be able to get back into this match.
And they go down the line from Mellon to Sundara, to the left side to Lutz, rolls over the top. Baker out of the pipe to Lemire, off the hands as Amy Lemire, sort of an unorthodox swing, but it works well out of the back row. As set was a little bit inside and having to adjust there was Lemire, but finds the hands. It's 13-7. Mellon, deep serve, and it's going to go out the back on the service error from Lauren Mellon. The lead back up to 7. It's 14-7 with Sully Sundara to the service line. As we've seen, Alex can steal some points.
Yeah, really, really important. Queens take care of this first serve and try to side out.
And a serve into the net as, again, Sundara with that sort of hybrid spinner can get a lot of points and a lot of pressure from that service line when it's on, but that time a little bit short. Goes into the tape, and it's a 6-point lead now for Mac. As Baker goes at Brooks with a great pass in tight, though. They tipped over the top, and they run that sort of 61 again in behind, and the tip over the top by Hitashta.
Such a smart play. You know, that shot's going to be wide open all day, especially with the left side blocker coming in and poaching on the 61 and jumping. That quick tip to 4 is always an easy score for a middle.
Cross-court swing on the serve that time. It's off the block and passed up as Carter swings into the block there, set by Julian. And it's 16-8, and now Mary Stewart going to come back into the game for Claire Carter. As McMaster with some separation here midway through this second set. See if the Gaels can chip away at that. Pass comes in tight again. Baker into the middle by Sixna, and a good find out of the middle that time by Amanda Sixna. Swings off the hands there, set on the solo block by Wook.
Yeah, great solid swing right off the hands. That's what we want to see from Sixna, is being aggressive. You know, find Sixna a bit more in the middle, and it'll open up your offense.
16-9, the advantage here for the McMaster Marauders. They trail 1-0. With Stewart with a good pass, or good serve, passed up by the Marauders. Lutz gets sent back into the open floor. Tipped over the top by Julian, an opportunity for the Gaels back in free ball transition. Lemire with a good swing, and it's coming back in the overpass. And just a bit of separation off the net, just a miscue there, trying to put the flush away there with Sixna. Kind of comes over the top though, a tough break in the middle.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough as a middle when you're thinking the setter's coming out of the backcourt, so they're going to jump and set it, and then they stay down, and you're thinking, oh, do I go, do I not? And she chose not to, and it lands on her side.
Good pass up on receive, and Sixna responds right away. And what a great way to get back in the action, Alex, after a miscue. set Amanda Sixna with a good cut to 1.
And really smart to give it back to Sixna. You know she might be in her head a little bit after that play. Let's feed her the ball again, get her right back in the play and get her head right. Smart set by and way to deliver by Sixna.
Pass comes off the forearms there of Sully Sundara. And you mentioned, Alex, how the importance of service pressure and generating maybe some points from the line. That's going to force the Marauders into taking their first of 2 timeouts. It's a 6-point cushion, so 17-11 on the scoreboard here for McMaster. A couple of great runs the last few points, though, by the Gaels. We'll see if they can claw their way back in coming out of the timeout.
Yeah, just a really smart play by Baker there, as I said. You know, setting Sixna after like a miscue and an error, you know, Sixna would have been like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that in this stage of this match. Giving it right back to her to get the kill and then following it up with pressure on the serve. It keeps her engaged, keeps her in the game, and keeps the fight alive. Max, you know, they're in a good spot. They're cruising. You know, we haven't seen much falter so far in them this set. And a deficit this large, you know, Queens is going to come out firing, thinking we need to take some players out on the service line, pushing it hard and creating more double block scenarios, right? If you're going to serve light, Max shown that they have enough versatility in their offense with running that 61, running that quick, that it's going to make it really hard on Queens' block defense. Queens' block defense is one of the best in the country, and that's when they put so much pressure on and get into high ball situations.
17-11 for the Marauders here in the second set. Coming out of the timeout, the Marauders still with 1. The Gaels have used both. And Sixna with a good serve. Pass comes in tight there. A good adjustment, though, off the hands there by Wook. Able to keep it alive, though, with Sixna. Now to the right side swing. Pass in transition, out of the pipe to Sundara. What a great dig up by Stewart. In tight, though, and Jenna Wook again sees the gaps in the defense, and just that flush to the left side. 18-11 for the Marauders.
Just a smart play by Wook, right? Sometimes middles or players get the tendency of wanting to swing so hard. You know, you can just flush it down 2 hands and score every time.
So the lead is now 18-11 for McMaster. Pass comes in tight by Lemire. They run the middle to Mellon, and a good find. Great inside set that time by Shea Baker. Able to find the angle on the approach there by Lauren Mellon, and we mentioned how important getting the middle involved would be the rest of the way here, Alex. They find Lauren Mellon on that run.
Great one off the net, pushing the 31 outside. It was wide open.
Pass comes in tight on serve receive. Here they run the step by Wook. Off the block and clips her back on the way through. And McMaster is still in the lead here, up 18-13, but the Gaels chipping away here, point at a time. Back to within 5. And they've got DeShano to the service line. And the officials giving the Marauders bench a little bit of a reminder maybe not to be playing with the ball in the flow of play here. Forearm set by Kolpitz, and it's a good one off the top of the block. Stewart's there to pick it up. Set into the middle by Mellon. Passed up by Julian. C-ball to Lutz, goes cross. Good pickup by DeShano. Forearm set to the outside. Lemire just going to wipe it down the line. Good pickup though by Julian. And then taking a bit of pace off there was Sundara. Good heads up play, a good scramble defensively by Lutz. Then comes, by Julian, and then comes back into the left side pin attack by Sully Sundara, 18-13.
Yeah, Mac definitely saw something in their game planning, to seeing that the pod is open. We saw a lot of them scoring early and often in that first set, and when they've needed it, a double block fully closed, they tip right over the top and score.
And Victoria Potvin comes in to serve. And her time on the floor will be short-lived, goes into the net, and Jenna Wook will come back onto the floor and then give way to Haley Brooks.
Yeah, really tough to give away a point right there after a score, and you've been kind of like struggling in your serve receive a little bit the last couple points. You need to put the pressure on and stay and push through in this set. By missing serves and giving it away, you're allowing the door open for Queens to come back in this set.
So 19-14, a 5-point advantage here for McMaster, and Sundara just buries one. Hard cross, just trying to match up there with a good swing. And he's able to find some gaps there. It's back to 6. So Chase Victoria going to come in to serve now. We saw this in the opening set as well. It's actually Kolpitz that wanted a bit of a service run midway through that got the Marauders into cruise control here. Good high ball set to the right side, tipped over the top. Able to scramble there is Stratford, but can't get there in time. So again, Kolpitz maybe not the strongest or having a ton of pace on her serve at Alex, midway through early on in this set, was able to establish a bit of a gap with her from the service line.
Yeah, I think it was more so on this rotation and them struggling to get out of it. So really kudos to Queens Gaels for coming in and getting out of that rotation right away.
Set to the left side to Lutz, who just has a mistouch on the ball. In this rotation here, where Lutz is on the left side pin and Sundara on the right. Just a mistouch on the swing there by Maddie Lutz.
Yeah, I'm fully keying in on the middle right side here after that play. I'm bunching over and making sure that we're not getting beat by Sundara on the right on this one.
So Queens back within 4. Set to the right side and a cross-court swing, that time by Sundara. And then the C-ball back from Queens, from Hannah DeShano. And in the blink of an eye, Alex, Queens back within 3, 2017.
Yeah, as I said, Matt gave away a couple points there by serving missed serves, and they said, we're going to leave the door open for you. And Queens is like, great, we're going to come back in this match and put the pressure on you to close out.
2017, Mellon comes cross, not the greatest pass on receive. Able to stay on top of it as McKinnon. Good pickup though, and they'll swing or just get it sent over in the free ball there by DeShano. Set to the right side, ball tipped over the top. Scrambling to get there is Lemire. Looked like it may have been going out the back. Second ball, push to the right side, off the arms there of Mellon. Good side out by the Marauders to put an end to the run by the Gaels, and it looked like a couple free ball opportunities Queens could have taken advantage of.
Could have taken advantage of it, and it leaves now Sundara back at the line. The toughest serves we've seen so far in this match. Really important you take care of first contact, trying to get a 2-pass inside out here if you're Queens to stay alive in this match.
21-17, the lead here for the Marauders. Sundara out the back. And a steal from the line here from the Gaels as Sundara with a service error.
To mimic what we saw last set, 21-18, just flipped right now. Let's see if Queens can put the pressure on and come back and tie it up by 22.
And it's Shea Baker to the line. Staying on top of it is Julian, with kind of a miscue from start to finish on that rotation, on that rally. Got a first contact, then second, and then third, just sort of compounding errors on that one, Alex, and it's 21-19.
Exactly. That's the one thing you got to limit, especially at this stage in the game, this stage in your season, right? If you make a mistake on that first pass and the ball's coming back to you, you got to take care of it on that second one. Just trying to swing too aggressively on a full-fledged double block, pulled off the net after a bad set, trying to make too much out of nothing and just hammering into the net. If I'm Coach Nate Jansen here, I'm just, talking to my team, just getting them back engaged in this game and talking about what we're going to do next. Not really focusing on what happened in the past, but talking about what rotation that we're in, what we're looking at across the net, and where we want to go with our offense. We're talking through what rotation, maybe what the other middle's doing, and your setter's going to know what options she has in her front court. So you're really looking forward right now, but it starts with a pass. So let's make sure we get a good, solid pass to give ourselves an option to swing away on this chance.
So we had Sully Sundara, who was at the line for the Marauders with a service error, and then in response, we've had Mary Stewart, who finished that opening set with a service ace, and we'll see if Stewart can steal another from the line here. It's going to be deep, it's Baker from the line, not Stewart, as the long serve, that time by Shea Baker, gives one back. It's 22-19 now for Mac, and they're able to force his service error from the Gaels back the other way, 22-19. Hatashta. Passed up by DeShano, set into the middle by Sixna, just going to wipe away at it. Set to the right side to Lutz, tips over the top. Biasi able to get there. Baker, right side. Stewart off the block, it's kept alive. Going to get sent over by Stewart, trying to find that back corner. Set to the right side, it's in tight to Lutz, but they'll recycle. Colpitz, forearm set. Julian, cross, but it's wide. No contact on the block from Queens, and it's 22-20.
Yeah, Julian just went way too sharp with that. It might have been in her head that she made an error just below the block the play before, because she tried to carve it straight inside the attack line and it blew it out just out the side. Really important here for Mac to get a good pass and for Queens to put pressure on. They can't have a miss in this situation on the service line.
And now it's Stewart to the service line. Good hard aggressive serve, and getting pulled off the net was Colpitz, but they stay on top of it by Julian. Good find. And they kept alive by the Gaels. Can the Marauders take advantage? Left side, Julian rolls this time. Drops in, yes. And the Marauders able to find a way to side out. Good scramble defensively by Queens. But a good response back by the Marauders to win the point.
great response, and to go back to your first year outside hitter there, back-to-back plays after an error is really smart by your setter and keeping her engaged in this final stages of the set.
Biasi on the overpass gives an opportunity offensively here for the Marauders. They run the step to Wook, but it's going to be sharp cross, cutting back the other way. And it's an attacking error, 23-21 now for the Marauders. And both teams, Alex, used both their timeouts, so we're going to see things figured out on the floor here. As Sixna goes back to the service line here for the Gaels. Good pass up, though, on receive by Julian. They run the step to Wook. Finds the back corner, Jenna Wook. Set point, McMaster.
Huge play and huge kill by Jenna Wook on that step around, hitting it smart, long, deep shot to the far corner. There's no way you can stop that a lot of the times by hitting it deep and scoring in the back third of the court.
Julian to the service line. Good pass up by Biasi. Good set by Baker. What a find to Lauren Mellon. So much pace on that set to find Lauren Mellon.
Yeah, they really get Mellon involved when she's off the net, being pulled away and firing that 31 across. We've seen it a couple times so far this set. Really great to see, keeping Mellon engaged and having a huge swing at this stage in the game.
Hannah DeShano to the service line. Pass comes in tight. Colpitz are on the step to Wook. And it's a set point earned for the McMaster Marauders. A little bit more separation, but not by much, Alex. We saw the opening set by the minimum of 2 points that went to extras, 34-32. McMaster takes the second, 25-22, and are +1 on the night through 2 sets. But expect more of this very evenly matched play between these two sides as we head into now a best of 3 with a spot in the OUA Championship on the line.
Yeah, big spot now. It's best of 3 right now, right? You forget what already happened. Mac's got to be confident in how they delivered early in that set. They kind of let it slide a little bit and opened the door to let Queens back in. And it was a doing of their own by having too many missed serves and just leaving the door open, as we kind of talked about. But, you know, it's a very even match we've seen so far, right? Not too much separation between both sides. Both the teams working on their game plan. I think Mac's game plan worked a bit more in their favor there. We didn't see too much of DeShano throughout that second set, right? And that's what we thought early on that Mac was trying to do, is try to find a way to limit her and not have her so involved in this match, because she's proved that she's one of the best players in the country time and time again. So if you're Queens, you need to find more creative ways to get her involved in this offense and have her swinging full from the front court. And you know, can't wait to the latter half of a set to get her involved. You need to get her involved early and often and help try to build your lead.
So we saw the McMaster Marauders fall just short in the opening set. It was a great result by the Queens Gaels, and McMaster falling just short. But in the second set, McMaster coming out to an early lead, forcing the Gaels into 2 early timeouts. But Queens doing a great job to fight back of their own and pull it to within a 3-point final set margin. But again, good response. At one point it was 20-14 for McMaster. Looked like they were maybe cruising into that second set victory, but maybe a little bit of energy and some confidence restored by the Gaels. And like we said, Alex, McMaster does come away with the second set victory, but now pulled to within a best of 3. These two sides very evenly matched, as we've seen through the first 2 sets so far.
Very evenly matched, and you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens this set. You know, we've seen teams pull away early on both sides, and then kind of close the gap towards the latter half of the sets. You know, they're both going to be looking at the results and seeing what happened. They're going to be looking at the assistant coaches are looking at the numbers right now and seeing what worked and what hasn't. They might be trying to change their block up a little bit. You know, I've seen them leaving a lot of the lines open for some free swings. And you know, the pressure from the service line has kind of gotten a bit into the heads of the offenses on both sides.
So 25-22, the second set victory here for the McMaster Marauders. They have pulled even and tied it up at 1 set apiece. Again, the opening set, a marathon 34-32 advantage for the Queens Gaels. And as we mentioned, this best of 5 has quickly become a best of 3. Teams splitting the first 2 sets of the match. And again, a great back and forth. And Alex, after 2 sets now, anything that maybe stands out looking at the stats between these two sides?
Yeah, it's the one big standout is in blocks right now. 14 block assists for Mac versus only 4 for Queens. And we see it in the match too. There was a couple of rotations where Queens got stuck and Mac's block defense took advantage. digs are pretty even. It's just the blocking where they're closing in and not giving the Queens offense many options. I think we saw last week Queens very versatile with their offense, spreading it around and blowing on all full cylinders. It might be a bit of their, kudos to Mac on their pressure from the service line that's taking them out of their rhythm a little bit. But you got to reestablish that if you're Queens to find a way to push hard in this third set.
So we head into the third set here between the Gaels and Marauders. First point goes to Mac on the block with Jenna Wook and Olivia Julien as they try to run that right side ball. That's a point won by the Marauders.
What a play by Wook. She knew it was going there and left early and was finding a way to close. What a block to start off this set.
Hetashta to serve, goes hard cross at Lemire. Set to the right side, Descheno going to tip down the line. Forearm set to the outside, off the top of the block. Getting there is Biasi. Set to the pipe, and it's off the mark a little bit there by Baker, having to adjust as Stewart. And it's a right side ball by Lutz, and it finds the corner. So contact off the top of the block, and then able to take a spin down and fall just inside that back corner, and it's 2-0 Mac. Good pass up on receive there by Biasi. They run to Descheno, and Hannah Descheno with an in tight set. Able to make an adjustment, gets enough pace and a good location on the swing. Gaels on the board.
Good location on the swing and just being able to hit it high and hard.
So 2-1, and Descheno will go to serve here for the Gaels. Good pass up, set into the middle by Wook, and just a feather touch over top of the block. And able to find the pot there. You talked about it a couple times, Alex, about maybe the McMaster Marauders seeing something in film or seeing something tactically and being able to take advantage.
Yeah, the pot's been open all night for them so far. I need to find a way for Queens to crash as a group to take care of that.
Off the serve from Lutz, able to stay on top of it is Lemire. Great job by Lemire again to stay aggressive and get a swing out of it, but things starting, again, compounding a little bit there, and it's a hard cross that goes out the side. And it's an attacking error.
Not the start you want to see as a Gaels fan. You got to find a way to side out here.
Off the forearms there of Lemire. And serve receive. The last couple points been a challenge here for the Gaels. And Coach Ratushniak going to take the timeout here, Alex. And 6 points played here in the third set, and 5 of them going the way of the Marauders. So a timeout taken to try to settle things down and maybe try to get out of this rotation.
Yeah, I need to find a getaway out of this rotation. There's something a bit off right now, right? On that lineup passing in the backcourt. Not fully confident. It could be kudos to Mac's servers and putting a lot of pressure on. They both lead in aces and put pressure on the other team. Queens has just got to find a way to take care of that ball a bit better from the backcourt and keep their offense live. When it's a two pass, that Mac block is so big and so strong and able to close on both sides, it's making it really challenging for Queens hitters. So if they're not going to take care of the pass, it's going to be a tough night for the next couple sets if they don't find a way to take care of that.
And the McMaster Marauders, again, finding a way to generate some early set separation to start the second set, and have done the exact same here to start the third. So an early set timeout taken by Coach Ratushniak, try to talk things over, and again, maybe try to find a way to side out and get out of this rotation and get back to their aggressive style of play from their attacking from multiple different lanes and multiple different options. But are going to have to try to find a way from serve receive to try to get a good platform up and get a pass up on this serve coming here from Lutz. Float serve again by Lutz. Great pass that time by Lemire. They set to the right side to Descheno. Off the platform, kept alive by Lutz. Pushes to the outside to Julien. Rolls off the top of the block. And they pull Lemire over, Alex, on that sort of out-of-system ball, knowing it was going to be a high ball set to the left side. And they close with the triple, but takes that roll off the block.
Triple, or almost we're thinking maybe tip roll defense a little bit if you're not closing the triple, but it's tough when it goes off the block.
Overpass there by Lemire, but it stays in tight. Set to the left side, off the swing there by Julien. And a little bit deep maybe in defensive coverage. That time was Stewart, and unable to get there in time on the lean forward. And it's a blazing start to this third set here for the Marauders, taking some of that momentum from the second set victory and are up 7-1. And then the tip over the top. Is that going to be the way out of the rotation? And it will be. Sort of comes in tight, and they'll take that point and bring it back to within a 5-point gap, but it's a pass comes in tight, just rolls over the top.
Nice play by Baker. Back dump, finding a spot to score. Get your team back to the service line to see if you can put a little pressure on yourselves on max passing.
7-2, the lead for the Marauders. Good pass on receive by the Marauders, and what a time for the dump by Lauren Colpitz. Pass comes right in tight, thinking that multiple offensive sets, and just taking advantage, the block scheme anticipating maybe a set to one of the pins, and a great time for that by Colpitz.
It's funny, you say you dump, you score, I'm going to do it right back to you.
Pass comes up off the arms there of Biasi. Trying to play it back in was Stewart, going to get sent back over on the free ball by Lemire. Off the arms there of Wook, able to stay on top of it. Oh, what a block! Able to close over, and maybe that's the momentum boost that the Gaels need to close over on that out-of-system ball. Kind of takes a roll off of first contact there by Wook. And then the Gaels able to take advantage on that high ball set on third contact and able to read it on the block. 8-3, the lead here now. And it's a swing, and it's going to go and paint the back line. 6-point cushion restored. It's 9-3 for the visitors.
Yeah, just a great set overall there by Colpitz. Finding anything in our offense right now. In-system rhythm, in setting the pipe there. Really smart play. Queens did not see that coming, only had one block on it and found a way to score in the back third of the court.
9-3, the lead for the Marauders. Good set to the inside, and it's going to go wide of the court. And the attacking error for the Gaels.
Yeah, you might look to take a timeout again soon here. It's kind of getting away from you. 10-3 is a big gap. You got to find a way to get back in the game. Really important to take care of this ball. Maybe find your middle and get a clean swing and a score.
Served by Wook. Good pass up on receive by the Gaels. And they set it into the middle on cue, Alex. And they get Sixna involved on the great pass. And a great side out to see if the Gaels can build on that now.
Yeah, great swing, great kill, and you got to wait now. You got DeShano back in the front court. That's what you want. This is how you're going to be able to come back in this set. Now it's on your servers to put a bit of pressure on with the front court that you want.
And it's a short serve into the net by Baker. Gives the point back. It's 11-4.
Yeah, it's really tough, right? You got DeShano in the front court, and you're going to be able to score a lot of points. And you can score in bunches with her in the front court. So you got to be able to keep that ball in play from the service line.
Deep serve by Colpitz, passed up by Lemire. Set into the middle, off the hands there again to Sixna. And they've had success. They've sort of minimal, a smaller sample size out of running the middle tonight for the Gaels, but able to find that success, whether it's the step with Mellon or out into the middle by Sixna.
Sixna's a gamer. You got to find a way to get her involved, even if the pass is off the net. She's been finding ways to score. So I just keep feeding her, and that's going to open your pins up for DeShano to come in and have one-on-ones. 11-5 for the McMaster Marauders. They run the right side ball, tipped over the top. Biasi able to get there, kind of congested, but they able to get it to the left side pin. Forearm set to Lutz on the outside, off the top of the block. Stewart gets there. Baker push to the left side off the net. Lemire able to work with it though. Comes back on the overpass, set into the middle, off the swing. Good pickup defensively, it's sent over on the free. Can the Marauders take advantage? They run the middle themselves. Good defense by Baker. Forearm high ball to the outside. Cross court there by DeShano. Brooks to the left side pin, adjusting his Lutz. Passed up by Biasi. Left side push, Lemire can't convert. And the long rally put to an end on the roll shot attempt there by Amy Lemire, and it goes short and into the net. Yeah, just tough. The set was off the net and low, and it made it really hard for her to adjust, and just trying to put a roll shot back in the court wasn't good enough. You got to keep that alive and find a way to stay in the rally.
And Sundara could have created a bit more separation with some success from the service line, but it's short and into that. It looked like maybe trying to take a bit of pace off of that one, Alex, and just mishit it. Sixna. Serve here now, and it's given right back. I think Sixna maybe trying to catch the service receive of the Marauders, moving a little bit, trying to go maybe 1-to-1, but it's 13-6.
Yeah, that's two misses while you have your best player in the front court. You want to be able to serve with DeShano in the front.
Pass off the arms there of Lemire. Set to the right side, and the attacking error that time by DeShano is the out-of-system ball maybe not led forward enough, and the Gaels going to take their second time out. They're trailing 14-6 as McMaster taking their second set victory and taking some of that momentum into this third set. Got off to a fast start and now sort of trading points and are up 14-6 and again leading here in this third set. And what is, as we mentioned, has quickly become a best of 3 after the team split the opening 2 sets.
Yeah, this is a perfect start if you're a Mac fan. You know, if you're Nate Jansen's kids, Allie and Eli from St. Catharines, you're fired up right now watching this team take the advantage. You know, as a Gaels fan, you're probably sitting here going, you're a little nervous, right? And that's kind of what we talked about a bit earlier in the match. You know, it's really important, this game, because it gives you a bid to nationals, right? And Mac has no pressure on them, right? They said, like, they were the underdogs. They're coming into it no matter what. If we win, great, we go to the finals. If we lose, our season's still alive. You know, Queens is fighting for their lives right now. And you got to instill that a bit with your players, right? This is what, like, leave it all on the line, leave it all on the floor. If you lose tonight, you're done, right? And you've got to be able to turn that mindset on and get aggressive. You know, don't get soft. Attack the ball. We've seen their passers not attacking the ball, and it leaves them with too many 2 passes.
Biasi on serve receive. They set, tipped over the top by Mellon. Set to that left side pin, and it's going to get recycled off the block. McMaster on the net. Point's going to go to Queens. It's 14-7.
Brings DeShano back to the line. Let's see if she can put a bit of pressure on and try to score a couple points in a row here. You need to get back-to-back points a couple different times to come back in this set.
Good deep serve by DeShano. Pulls Colpitz all the way off the net, and second ball passed over by Baker. Swing by Lemire. Good scoop on defense though by Biasi, then just going to get sent back over. Back to the left side to Julian. Rolls off the block, and she gets second contact. Try to swing away on it though, off the top of the block again. Stewart gets there, but it's in tight to the tape. Baker adjusts, and the point's going to go to the Gaels. Interference called on the set by McMaster.
Yeah, just a bit too aggressive, right? Their block is very aggressive, and they go out and get that ball. But when it's in the setter's hands, you can't. You got to be able to lean back. Been very impressed still with their block and the way they've been able to limit Queens' offense so far.
It's an opportunity here for the Gaels to continue to chip away here. Got a bit of a mountain to climb, but a little bit too far on the set coming across that time. You sort of see the swim move out of the middle a little bit there, trying to adjust, and it's 14-9 now.
Yeah, 1 point at a time if you're a Gaels fan. 1 point at a time. Just make it mini matches, trying to get little points and chip away at the lead.
And another good serve by DeShano. They run the pipe to Sundara, tips over the top. Able to get there, calling for help there was Mellon. Gonna get sent over by Biasi. Pass comes in tight, set to the left side. Off the swing is Julian. And a great side out by the Marauders, 15-9.
Yeah, I think this game plan that Colpitz put together is really putting pressure on that block, because you're seeing a lot of late closes right now. The middles on Queens don't know where it's going, and it's making it really challenging for them to close.
Baker, left side push, gonna go cross. It's a shallow serve in tight, and a deep serve, or excuse me, deep swing out the back. Sundara thought maybe she caught the line, but you could see the gap between the red and the blue as the ball drops out of play, and it's 15-10. And coming in to serve,
Garland O'Haley coming back to the line here. Let's see if she can come in and put a different look that Mac hasn't seen yet this game.
And we've seen Galarn O'Haley come in to serve a few times throughout the season for Amy Lemire off the top of the block, as Galarn O'Haley able to pass it up to the left side to Stewart. Deep shot goes cross, able to get there is Brooks. Roll shot back the other way, it's sent back over, and a diving scramble. Net's moving, but no call. Touched in there by Wook. Biasi back to the left side pin. Stewart off the block. And Lauren Colpitz reads the attack by Stewart, and it drops to the open floor. 16-10 Marauders.
What defense by both libs, keeping that ball alive when everyone else would have thought it would be over. And we almost had a libero kill on the one side. What a great rally, but Mac's block defense is finding a way to have success again and again.
And a service error though, as again an ace may have stolen momentum for good in this set for the Marauders. Back to within 5 though, and now Lauren Mellon to the service line, which will bring Sixna back into the front row. Mellon, good pass up, set to the left side. Sundara, what a cut by Sully Sundara. It was hard cross and paints the tee.
What a cut, you don't see that very often, right? A hard driven ball inside the attack line. That's a pro level shot right there by Sundara.
17-11 now for McMaster. And a service error back again for the Marauders.
Yeah, Marauders coaching staff might be a bit worried. You know, we had a big lead, and every time you go back, we're just letting the door stay open. You know, we're leaving this opportunity for Queens to come back.
17-12, the lead, and it's a service ace. And what a time for it here for the Gaels. As Shea Baker steals one for the Gaels, they're back within 4. And a timeout taken by Coach Jansen. And a 17-13 advantage here for the McMaster Marauders. They are leading this third set and are tied 1-1 in the match. So a sort of pivotal turning point here between these two sides. The victor of this third set obviously jumping ahead in terms of sets won for the match, but good fight here by the Gaels, forcing the Marauders into a timeout.
And you could feel it, right? You could feel the momentum shifting so far the last, 5-10 points. And Mac hasn't done themselves any favors by missing serves and leaving the opportunity more for the Gaels. And what a serve by coming in and getting that ace by Baker, right? Putting that pressure on. They're really going to have to keep pushing, but it's not that big of a gap anymore. It's only 4 points. Last time out you would have said, oh my gosh, how are they going to be able to climb out of this mountain they've dug themselves, or climb out of this hole that they dug for themselves? But they found a way to came back, and kudos to this team. They've done this before in the year, and they've always found a way, and really important here for Baker to put more pressure on and see if they can steal a couple more and find a way to tie this game up by 20.
17-13, the lead now for the McMaster Marauders. It's a deep serve, going to go out the back. So it's a service error this time, as we're going to get a substitution. There's Chase Victoria going to come back into the game here for McMaster. She'll send Colpitts off for a quick breather. So 5-point edge restored here for the Marauders. Passed up by Biasi, forearm set to the outside, cut down the line by DeShano. Set back to the left side, tipped over the top by Sundara. Biasi, a little bit too far on the overpass. Good scramble to get there though by DeShano. Pass back over on the free ball. Set to the right side, Lutz buries it. 19-13 Mac.
What a swing, one-on-one, full swing, going up against one of the best blockers in DeShano, and she found a way to hammer that ball cross court.
What a swing by Maddie Lutz. It's 19-13 for the Marauders. And a scramble on receive, going to get sent back over by Stewart, keeps it in play. Set back to Sundara, off the block again, and the Marauders offense rolling now, Alex, 20-13.
They're just swinging freely, no care, ball's right there. I either swing free or it's a good block and I know the pot's open, right? They know they have all those options in their head right now, and Queens has got to find a way to get their block more involved and stuff this offense.
So Lemire comes back into the game for Pascal Gallardo-Haley. And then the attack there by Stewart is going to go out the back. Things sort of snowballing a little bit here for the Gaels. It's been a good run out of the timeout from McMaster. And they're up 21-13, their biggest margin of lead here in this third set. Forearm set goes up top and tipped over by DeShano. Pass to Sundara, and a great cut again by Sully Sundara. And just able to pick apart and find multiple different locations on her swings on the last few points here, Alex.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a different look that Queens needs to give, because I feel like every time we're seeing an attacker go up with 2 full blocks, they're finding a way to score. I don't know if they need to bring the block inside more and give them more line, but too many options right now for Mac's offense.
Good cut out of the middle, but the McMaster Marauders stay on top of it. Cut off the block, it's going to go up and out of play. And the substitution, Alex, they bring Claire Carter back into the game, who's got maybe a little bit more of a high block touch from Stewart and able to find a way to side out off the block that time.
Yeah, a bit bigger on the outside there, maybe trying to put more of a staple on that right side, but we'll see. I think you really got to put pressure on here. You got to ring off 4 or 5 in a row right now if you're going to find a way to get back in this set, or it's going to just be building momentum time before you go to the fourth.
So 22-14, the advantage here for McMaster as McKinnon gets blocked in the middle by Sixna. And continuing to get some contact and creating some disruptions at the net Be the plan here for the for the Gaels. They're down 22-15. Set to the right side, they find Sundara again. Good pass up by Carter. Set to the left side, Lemire tipped over. Set comes a little bit too far inside. It is 23-15 for Mac.
Interesting serving sub here, bringing bringing Sundara off the floor, bringing a float server in, maybe just giving her a rest as he looks towards the fourth set.
Pass up by Biasi. Set to the right side, rolled over the top, and McMaster called on the net. And a sense of urgency kind of moving over across the Gaels at this point. 23-16. And they'll have Sixta back to serve. Trying to find the corner, set into the right side to McKinnon. Pass up by Carter. Baker to the right side, off the top of the block by DeShano. Pass back to that left side, cut down the line. It's going to go out the back. Smart play by Claire Carter there to see that trajectory and allow that one to sail out the back. 23-17, and now Lutz going to come back onto the floor here for McKinnon. And it's 23-17. Deep serve, passed up by Julian. They set her back, rolls off the top, and a good find on the off-speed ball that time by Olivia Julian, and it's set point for the Marauders. Hatashta back to serve now for McMaster. Passed up by Biasi. Set to that right side, and DeShano. And on set point, they're going to set DeShano. And just able to convert. Great pace on that swing by Hannah DeShano.
Yeah, great swing, great pace. Might be too little too late this set, but try to build momentum right now for the fourth.
24-18 for McMaster. Set goes to the pipe. She's going to get sent over on the free ball. Pass by Biasi. Baker, they run the step to Mellon. Swung away, but it's passed up defensively by the Marauders. Pass comes in tight. High ball set comes inside. Set to the left side. Lemire. Great swing by Amy Lemire. And Lemire had a strong opening set. Trying to get her back involved on that left side pin and continuing to build here at 24-19. And back in will be Sully Sundara.
What a swing by Lemire. Really good to see coming into the end of this set. Hopefully she can build on that and push a couple hard swings like that into the fourth.
24-19, the advantage here for the McMaster Marauders, and the service error gives the second set to the McMaster Marauders. They take it 25-19 and lead the match, Alex, 2-1 as we head into the fourth here at the Arc, with the Marauders taking sets 2 and 3.
Yeah, you can feel it in the crowd a little bit. Everyone's just on pins and needles, kind of like, what just happened? We haven't seen this much this year, right? They've had a really strong season in hosting MAC twice in this gym, winning 3-0, 3-0. MAC adjusted, made some changes, and has played flawlessly since we saw that the first 10 points of the first set, right? They dug themselves a hole, but it's been all MAC ever since that first, 10, 15 points in the match. Really got to find something different. What's the gear that we're going to get to? What's the errors that are happening? I think it's just, on the floor, taking ownership as a group. We didn't pass well enough to win the last two sets. You got to take care of the ball on our side, and then spread the floor a little bit with your offense. It's a nerve-wracking position to be in when you're down 2-1, heading into a deciding two sets with your season on the line. But this is what, this is why you play sports. You want to be here as an athlete, especially on your home floor. Now let's make it my own, make this my opportunity. You have a chance to shine. How are you going to go out and do it on the floor?
So on the McMaster side of things, the two left side attackers for the Marauders, Sully Sundara, Olivia Julian, been outstanding for MAC through the first three sets. Looking back on the other side, though, if you're the Queens Gaels and in the timeout or in the transitional discussion right now heading into this fourth set, what's sort of the adjustment you might need to make, whether it's tactical, whether it's mental, just coming back out and treating this as if it's the first set of the night, and just trying to get back maybe to their attacking scheme? What sort of things are maybe going through the minds here of the Gaels?
Yeah, I think what's going through the minds a little bit is you're getting stuffed on all your second ball swings, and I think you got to find a way to just pass a little bit better and run your own offense. When we get into high ball management situations, Mac's block has proven to be big and strong. Queens isn't really taking advantage of in-system tips and rolls to the pot. They're kind of a bit more of a one-trick pony right now when they have it in-system. They're trying to swing away. It hasn't been working, and you know, I think it all stems from the backcourt and serving and passing. You know, I think Mac's offense has been flying free and having lots of opportunities to swing freely on every ball, or knowing that they can score at will in the pot. And you know, they've done a really good job mixing up their offense. But you know, the hitting percentage is what the big thing is. You look at the stats so far in this match, and they're hitting, you know, 152 on the match, and way less than you're seeing on the other side of the floor, with a couple negatives in there as well. It's going to be really tough. You've got to find a way to push a bit deeper, get back in this match. But block assist wise, there's like 20 block assists versus 6. That's the tail of the tape, and that's why you're seeing the hitting percentages so low on the Queens Gaels side.
20 block assists, as Alex mentioned, for the McMaster Marauders, making things really difficult for the attack efficiency here of the Queens Gaels through the first 3 sets. But we'll head into the 4th here now, trying to tie this up and force a 5th and deciding set here on OUA Women's Volleyball Semifinal Friday here at the Athletics and Recreation Center in Kingston. Before we get queued up for the 4th set, again, join us back later on this evening. It'll be the OUA Men's Volleyball Semifinals, the Queens Gaels hosting the Brock Badgers. We'll talk more about that once we get maybe a timeout upcoming. But to start the 4th set, it'll be Mary Stewart to the service line here for Queens. Passed up by Sundara, set into the middle, tipped over the top, able to get there. Passed in tight, joust won by the Gaels, as Wook was there and got contact once the ball had come back over, but it's out of play.
Yeah, a big stuff block to start, finding a way to get in that joust and get that first point in the match. That's the way you want to start as a Gaels fan.
So first point of this 4th set goes to the Queens Gaels as Stewart will try to steal a few more here from the service line. They go at Julian, set out of the pipe to Sundara, was close to that attack line, but no contact on the block nonetheless, and it goes wide of the court. And the Gaels steal the first 2.
Yeah, it's the exact same game plan they run the last 2 sets. They go pipe and middle in the first 3 points, trying to establish a presence up front. Hasn't worked though. Queens is going to get a bit of confidence with that as they're up 2-0.
Stewart from the service line again. Pass comes in tight to the tape, adjusting and just forcing the tip over the top, but able to find it. And the adjustment there by Wook. It's 2-1.
Good adjustment, finding the pot. As we said, we've talked about it a lot. Now it's on Baker to get it back with her offense, trying to get Sixna involved early. You know, respond right back through the middle.
Good hard float serve. It's passed off the arms there of Lemire, who has to adjust in tight to the net. Set to the pipe to Sundara and mishits that one. And it's going to be an attacking error out of the pipe, was trying to stay aggressive on sort of the out-of-system ball. And not the cleanest of sets releasing off the hands there of Colpitts, but it's 3-1. Sixna. Back to serve here for Queens. Good pass up by Sundara. Set to the left side, Julian just going to do a throw tip into the corner. Tip to the right side and having to adjust, no contact on the block.
That's a really tough one, right? You got a free ball coming back. You got a really good opportunity to establish a bigger lead in this match, and finding a way to tip it like a bit tight outside set, left hand pushing it outside the block. Got to find a way to push through, get a good pass here.
The overpass there. Set to the right side pin. Good adjustment, and it drops in as DeShano able
nice
to convert.
swing by DeShano. That's what you want to see to start the set off early. Great hard cross-court swing off the top of the block. That's what we need to see throughout the rest of this set to keep the Queens Gaels alive.
Gaels lead back to 2. Passed up by Sundara. Set to the left side, back to Sundara, and a good swing. Good touch on it though by Stewart. Going to get sent over on the free ball. Run the step around to Wook. Able to get there is Biasi. And it's rolled back down the line at Lutz. Sent over by Julian. Kind of a down ball out of the back row. On the step to Mellon. Lauren Mellon passed up by Maddie Lutz. Set to the left side. Swung by Sundara. Passed up and they can't get it back over. And it's a point earned for McMaster, 4-3.
Yeah, great rally off both sides, just keeping the ball alive. Queens wasn't able, it was a tight set outside to Sundara. She found a gap in that block as the middle was trying to close late, and it found a way to score.
Wook back to the line to serve here for McMaster. Pass comes in tight, set her to the pipe to Stewart. It rolls off the top and off the arms and out of play. And a good swing again, that time out of the back row.
Yeah, good clean swing out of the pipe. Haven't seen that much so far tonight. That was a great set, good choice, and getting a full swing on that ball.
Try to get Mary Stewart rolling back again out of the back row and out of the front row. 5-3 the advantage here now for Queens. And it'll be Amy Lemire back to the line, which will bring Stewart into the front row, and it's a short serve into the net.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see early, right? The missed serves early, compounding a couple errors. Still got the lead, 5-4. Need to find a way to get out of this rotation quick and early with your setter in the front court.
Colpitz. Pass comes in tight by Lemire, just going to get dumped over. Colpitz there to pick it up. Lutz set to the outside. Sundara cuts down the line. Forearm ball out of the back row to Lemire, and it's able to clip Julian along the way. Just unable to avoid that one.
Trying to duck and get out of the way and just clipping the top of your head. That's a tough one because you know it was going out of bounds. But great swing, good fight by Queens. That was the rotation that got stuck in her a lot of times throughout this match. So getting out of that early and quickly bodes well for the Gaels.
Forearm high ball set to the right side, and a response by Sully Sundara. Whether it's out of the back, out of the right side or left, Sundara swinging away, gets her 12th point of the match.
What an approach too. It was almost a step around approach as she flew into that one, swung full speed. No chance for the backcourt of the Gaels to get that one.
And Sundara, good pass up on receive, set into the middle. Able to find the sideline, no. On the swing by Sixna, and we're tied at 6.
It was a close one. The ref had to take a second look at it. Did it go into the paint the line? It didn't. Great choice to get Sixna involved. She's been a player we've talked about a lot. I'd try to go right back at her because she had a good opening for the kill there.
And off the arms there on the service ace by Sully Sundara. And it's 7-6 for Mac. And another strong, aggressive serve. And we'll see if Sundara continue her run from the line. Good pass up that time. Set to the left side, tipped over by Stewart. And then tipped over again. And in defense there, DeShano gets contact on the ball, but rolls off and out of play. It's 8-6 Mac.
See, they knew it was open. The pot again, you know, what a nice set by the libero to flick it back with her hands, but it was still a bit inside. And as you come in as an attacker, you know, maybe the Queens need to switch to a bit more of a tip roll defense. You've seen too many balls hit the floor in the middle of the court, and that's just demoralizing as a defense because everyone has the opportunity to get that ball in the pot.
And a short serve this time as Sundara tried to steal another. Gives the point back to Queens. It's 8-7. As Baker will go back to the line to bring DeShano into the front row. Good pass up there by Brooks. Set back to the right side to Lutz, and it's met by a block. Able to scramble and get it back over though. Set to the right side, DeShano off the forearms and back over again by the Marauders. Just out the sideline, a good break there for the Gaels. They're able to stay aggressive with the defense on display that time for the Marauders.
Yeah, when Queens scores, it's hard. You know, Mac's getting touches on every ball. When Mac's scoring, it's hitting the floor. Got to find a way for the Gaels to score clean, or else it's going to be a long fourth set.
Service error that time by the Gaels. It goes out the back. As Ellie Hatashta will go back to the line to serve here for the Marauders. 9-8, the advantage for Mac. Off the arms there of Lemire, has to bring it back in as Biasi. And trying to go cross there was DeShano. Kind of set pulled her all the way off the net. And then trying to find a lane through, but unable to solve it. Serve across there by Hitashta. Baker to the outside, DeShano. Kind of adjusts and rolls down the line. Back to the left side, off the block. As Stewart and Sixna. Great timing and good contact across the tape. And it's 10-9 now for the Marauders.
Gonna need to see more of that as a Gaels fan in order to climb back in this match. What a block, great time. A way to close the gap a bit more, see if you can tie it up right here.
Stewart back to the line to serve here for Queens. It's 10-9 for McMaster. Good pass up. Set to the right side to Lutz. Contact off the arms there of Biasi. And Matty Lutz getting involved with the swing from the right side.
Great swing, you know, ball coming from further over in the zone, setting it back and finding a way to push it hard down that line. They left it for her and she found a way to score.
11-9, the lead now for McMaster. Set into the middle. Off the forearms, up into the tape as Sundara got contact, but unable to keep it in play.
Love to see it on the back set there to find a way to get it to 6-0. It's a tough set to make, and we've seen it a couple times on both sides tonight. It's really impressive. That's high quality volleyball right there.
So 11-10. The lead here now. Off the forearms there of Brooks. High ball set to the outside as Julian off the block and able to convert. Well off the net, just a swing into the block, Alex, and it tools off and out of play.
That's a tough one as a blocker. You know, your hands are up there to slow it down maybe, especially with an attacker off the net and she is just trying to throw it into the block and finds a way to score. That's really tough on the block defense on Queen's side.
Pass up, set by Baker to the right side. DeShano swings away. And able to find a bit of a seam in the block. Gets contact in and able to get it through. And there defensively, just couldn't quite get a reach underneath.
Yeah, great swing by DeShano, right? But now she's in the backcourt again. I would have loved to see her getting more involved in the offense as she went across.
Pass comes up from Julian. Set her to the pipe. It's rolled over by Lutz. Set to the left side. Tipped up and underneath there by Lemire. And then just on the swing on the overpass, but a good pass up by Sundara. Back to Sundara again. Biasi gets there. Forearm set across. And a tip off the block on the recycle there by the Gaels. But attacking coverage there, Alex, a little bit dispersed.
You can't let that ball hit the floor. There was a lot of time to come in and crash there. Having a slowed down block, that wasn't hard to the floor. There was a lot of time for many bodies to get on it. But as we said, the pot is open and someone's got to take responsibility, and it's as a full group.
Serve from Wook. Run the step around to Mellon. Good angle and the swing coming back across there by Lauren Mellon. And the Gaels back within one. It's 13-12.
Great swing by Mellon. That's what you want to see, running on that step, finding a way to score without Mac being able to get much hands on it. Need to put some pressure back on this serve and find a way to close this gap a bit more.
13-12. The advantage here now for McMaster. They lead 2-1. They're set on the step around. Passing tight, they're going to recycle off the joust. Forearm ball by Biasi to the outside to Stewart. Able to swing it over top of the block. They set to the left side to Sundara. And great pace on the attack by Sully Sundara, able to solve to the outside of the block.
Great, hard cross-court swing by Sundara. She's been doing that all night. Just keep swinging hard, and when it's a fully formed block, she has lots of different options with the pot open.
2-point cushion restored here for McMaster. It's a deep float serve. Forearm set back to the left side to Stewart. And then back the other way by Kolpitz. Rolls over the top. Able to get there is DeShano. Set to the left side off the top of the block there by Stewart. Pass comes in tight. Kolpitz, Sundara off the block again. Able to get there is Lemire. And now Stewart off the hands. Drops in play. Off the block by the Marauders. Great swing by Queens, but the block is there and it goes back to the open floor. 15-12, Mac.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a timeout coming here. What an unbelievable dig. I thought it was a perfect set, getting a full swing. Sully Sundara somehow threw her hands up at it on a hard cross-court swing, and it lands on the Gael side. As you come in as a group here, you know Sully Sundara is a number to look out for on this side of the floor. but you got to find a way to get out of this rotation. I think that's probably going to be trying to find a way to get DeShano involved, but I think this, if I'm remembering, they might be in one of their tough rotations right now with DeShano in the backcourt coming in one. Got to find a way to quickly get out of this. Maybe this is a timeout where you're hoping you're icing the server a little bit and hope for a miss.
15-12, the lead here now for McMaster, as we mentioned, leading 2-1. They drop the opening set 34-32, and then they come back and win the second 25-22 and the third 25-19, and lead the fourth 15-12. Force Queens into taking their first of 2 timeouts. A little bit later in the set than we've seen throughout the course of the match so far, Alex, but Queens still with one in their back pocket, the Marauders with both.
Yeah, this is the tightest set we've seen so far to this point. Both teams are fighting really hard right now. Queens has got to try to find a way to tie it up by 17 here, and then you're in the most important stage of the match, the last 8 points for either side.
So Chase Victoria going to come in to serve here again for Lauren Colpitz.
Yeah, this is the toughest rotation that Queens is in all night. That's why you take a timeout there to try to find a way out of this rotation.
Victoria with a float serve, passed up by Lemire. Baker to the outside, rolled there from Stewart to the right side to Lutz off the top of the block. Second ball coming from Biasi. Good forearm pass to the outside, and the swing by Mary Stewart. And the Gaels convert, and we'll get a sub right back in as Colpitz will take out Victoria, and the Gaels are back within 2.
A lot of pressure on Mary Stewart there, having to find her as the only option that whole rally and finding a way to score hard over the top. I hope she can keep swinging hard like that. That bodes well for us moving down to the later half of this set.
15-13 for McMaster. Set to the right side, and Sundara patiently gets on top of that ball. Set back to DeShano off the top of the block. Good pass up there by Baker, and they're going to say touch called on the Marauders.
Yeah,
and now Queens is called on the net, though, Alex.
The down official is all over the net. Yeah, I think we'll see what happens on this point, but they kind of came in and landed on top of the net as everyone was watching where that ball fell and hit the backside of the Marauders player. I think this is going to fall Mac's way as the Queens attacker fell fully in the net before the ball was down.
So the point does go to McMaster, much to the dismay of this Gaels crowd, who's starting to get behind the Gaels here to try to chip away at this McMaster lead.
It's a tough one, but it's the right call, right? The ball was still alive in play, and your right side attacker fully went into the net. I know it hit, and no one's watching that. It still hit that on the way down, but you can't land or go under the net, and she went fully into it.
So critical juncture in this fourth set, which would have been a 15-14 Mac lead with the Gaels serving. Is now a 16-13 advantage with Mac's best server on the line, but a great pass by DeShano. Stewart passed up, and the Gaels get one right back on the net. This time was the Marauders.
First blocking error we've seen tonight with the Marauders on the net. Maybe they had one, the odd one here or there, but that was the first one that sticks out in my mind on a dig and clean defense. That's going to help the Gaels stay alive here. Need a good serve.
So blocking errors on both sides there, trade points on that last couple sequences as Lutz swings away off the arms there of Lemire, and the lead back to 3 at 17-14. And now Lutz into double digits, Alex, so joining Sundara and Julian with their 10th point of the match. Pass comes in tight. Baker with the adjustment. Good cut there by Sixna. Set to the left side off the block, and it hits the sideline. And the point goes to the Gaels. And they're back to within 2. Have to make an adjustment on the scoreboard here. It says 18-14, but it should be 17-15.
You got it right on the broadcast, just not right in there. You go. Good flip on the scoreboard there.
So Stewart now to the service line has been one of the stronger Gaels servers of the night. And it's going to go to Brooks, who's able to bring it back into play. Good swing by Julian, and it's passed up though. Set to the left side. What a swing by Lemire, but an impressive dig by Sundara. Stay on top of it as Julian rolls off the block. And a dig from Sundara keeps the Marauders in system, and Julian able to find a way to score 18-15 McMaster.
What a point by the Marauders. A 3 pass off a 1-arm dig to start the set. And then that's a really hard ball to set with both hands. You know, coming in forehand pass with so much spin on it. Way to find a way to score on that point.
6-0. To the outside, Lemire swings into the back corner. Sent over on the free ball. Passed up by Stewart. Set to the right side. Swing, Hannah DeShano. 18-16 now for McMaster.
Yeah, this is the matchup Queens wants right now. DeShano matched up against Julian, right? That's the best attacker against a one-on-one, trying to force it and had a lot of room swinging cross court. That's what Queens is going to want to see a couple more times as we go towards the end of this set.
Passed up by Brooks, pulled off the net there a little bit is Colpitts, set back to the left side, tipped over by Lemire. Lutz there to get it, set to the left side, swing through, and a good find on the set by Lauren Colpitts, comes across and gets it to Julian, who goes hard cross, lead back to 3.
Yeah, great set outside and to score for Julian, that's great. Now she goes to the back, you get your best player back into the front court. It's biggest matchup, best DeShano versus Sundara, right left. We'll see what happens here.
Pass off the forearm set into the middle. Great find by Mellon, but a dig there by Julian. Set goes over. Forearm set back to the right side. DeShano off the top of the block. Scrambling there is Lutz. Good find there by DeShano.
Really smart play to on a free ball, give it right to the setter to take him out, and then you leave it so that you're going to have a high ball management situation, and a huge swing there by DeShano to find a way to score.
19-17, Gaels clawing back here, and that's going to go out the back on the service error, and that'll bring Ellie Hitashta back into the front row, and we'll get a serving substitution here for the Marauders. It's going to be Victoria Potvin with a 3-point cushion here late in this fourth set, as again the McMaster Marauders leading 2-1 and have a 3-point gap late in the fourth. DeShano, high ball set to the outside. Lemire, good swing, but it's picked up by Sundara, who keeps it alive. And then Sundara swings away and finds the sideline. What a night from Sully Sundara. The dig gets the ball back, Alex, and a cross-court winner, and the Gaels take a timeout.
What a play by Potvin. Coming in, you're a serving sub, you come in, the ball goes up, it's outside the court, you're running outside the floor to set a perfect ball to your best player. What a play, and what a full swing. They're swinging fleet. I couldn't believe that set coming outside the floor to come back in for a full swing by Sundara. 21-17, the advantage here now for the McMaster Marauders. And the Marauders hosting the U Sports National Championships. So as we mentioned a couple times, their ticket to the Nationals already punched by virtue of hosting, Alex, but again, certainly would love to win their way there and take the OUA's top seed in the tournament. And again, a semifinal matchup here with the Queens Gaels on the road. And after a tough 34-32 opening set loss, McMaster comes back, take the second, 25-22. A little bit more max since that first set. They found a way to battle back. It's going to be really key here for the Gaels to side out here and then score one. You got to catch them by 23. That's what you're looking at. You got to find a way to get 6 before they get 2.
So back to the line again is Potvin. Passed up by DeShano. Adjustment into the middle. Great find. Lauren Mellon, and a great set on the find there by Shea Baker.
Great timing on that. We haven't seen much quick out of the middle. We've seen a lot of right side. We've seen a lot of step. We haven't seen much quicks out of the middle. They were both late on that block. Great timing, great choice, great execution.
So 21-18, and Pascal Galarno-Haley back in to serve here for Lemire.
You know where the ball's going. It's going outside to Sundara. Let's see if they can stop it.
Pass comes in tight. They do set to Sundara off the block. Passed up by Biasi. See if they run the middle or come back out. They go to Sundara again off the block and into the stands. And a big, big point earned that time by the Gaels. Will Coach Jansen take a timeout? Alex, he will. 21-19. And great back-to-back points here for the Gaels to trim the deficit to just 2.
Yeah, that's great timing on the block by Mellon coming across. You know, it's tough. You know the ball's likely going to go there, and you're leaning as a middle blocker thinking, I know it's going to go to the best player on that side, but you don't want to cheat. You don't want to cheat because then you can get exposed a little bit on that back set slide. But great patience in understanding that it's likely going there. I'm leaning this way, closing the block, back-to-back plays. That is the time you needed a big slam block in this match, and now you're within 2.
And just a reaction off of the block, Alex, just kind of maybe trying to, again, keep it central, just reactionary, and kind of goes off forearms and up into the stands. But again, a big point earned that time by the Gaels, forcing McMaster into taking their first time out. Again, for Mac, they have a 2-point cushion and are leaning 2 sets to 1. But you can feel the Gaels starting to claw their way back in. And now the Gaels fans starting to make some noise, trying to continue this push here as we get towards the late stages of this 4th set. Queens trying to push and force a deciding 5th. Back to the line to serve once again is Pascal Galarno-Haley. Deep serve receive, Maddie Lutz calling ins and outs. Passed up and it's going to go out the back. So Galarno-Haley with the service error stalls a bit of the momentum, and what a call to maybe leave that ball, Alex, when momentum had been building for the Gaels. And you see Maddie Lutz calling those ins and outs. Works out in favor of the Marauders.
Yeah, missed by a couple inches there. It's really tough not to play it, but great eyes, great vision, good court sense.
22-19. Serve comes back over from Colpitts. On the step to Mellon, but a great dig though by Colpitts. Julian back to the far side to Lutz, sent over on the free ball. Gaels need to take advantage in free ball transition. They run the step again to Mellon. Colpitts, right side, Lutz! And the biggest swing of the night from Maddie Lutz puts this at 23-19.
Where did that come from? Inside block, you know, as a Queens block, you gotta come inside with the ball when it's set inside low. And she found a way to swing as hard as she could and hammer it to the floor.
23-19, McMaster. Pass comes in from Biasi. Set to the left side. Stewart off the block. They'll recycle. Will they go there again? No, they run backwards to Mellon. Set to the left side. Sundara tips over the top. Able to get there is DeShano. Set to the left side to Stewart. Rolls over the top. Picked up by Julian. Back to Sundara. Sundara off the block. Able to get there is Baker. Biasi. Pass to the far side. Stewart can't adjust, and it's into the antenna. And it's match point. McMaster.
Match point McMaster here. Got to find a way to keep your season alive. Push through. The fans still trying to rally them.
And back to the line again is Colpitts. It's a deep serve. Passed up that time to the outside to Stewart. Swings away. Passed up. Set to Sully Sundara off the top of the block. Drops to the open floor. And the McMaster Marauders are going to the OUA Championship.
What a match. Sully Sundara swinging away. What a match by this team overall. They really pushed through and found a way since that early down in that first set to keep fighting, and found a way to win. They had no pressure going into the night tonight, but it didn't matter. They found a way to battle each and every set and pull out the victory in 4.
The Gaels take the opening set, Alex, in what was an absolute thriller, a marathon extra point set that was 34-32 in favor of the Queens Gaels. But we talked about maybe the discussion that happens in that second set, or in that first to second set transition, but how do the Marauders find a way through after a tough opening set loss? And they come back with a 22, 19, and 19 set victories in 2, 3, and 4, and are now off to the OUA Championship.
It was just a great game plan all around. We saw it all night. You know, they were able to work hard to get the hard, solid block up there up front. And then they found the pot and they found their options to score. It was a masterful night from just setting all the balls, spreading the offense out. You look at the board, you know, you have 3 individuals in double digits in kills. That means you ran a great offense tonight, and you got many attackers involved. And, you know, they just had too many options. You know, Queens left the pot open, and that will build Mac's confidence of, like, if we can't beat them through the block, we can just tip it over and we're going to score, or we swing away. And you know, kudos to the Queens Gaels. They had an unbelievable season this year. They were strong all year. They fell short, which is going to be really tough for them, being there as an athlete and losing at this stage in the season when you've been building and building and building. So it's a really hard one for our Gaels and the Gaels fans here tonight, but it became kudos to Max play. They just found a way and a will to win.
Yeah, disappointing finish for sure, but it's certainly an outstanding season here for these Queens Gaels. But again, the McMaster Marauders doing a great job being able to weather the storm after the first set, and then again taking sets 2, 3, and 4. As we mentioned, they have qualified for the Quigley Cup and will take on the winner of the Brock Badgers and the TMU Bolts. And again, we'll see whether they'll be hosting that OUA championship or whether they'll be heading down to St. Catharines to face off for the rights to claim the OUA banner. But as we mentioned, they will be qualified already for nationals. They're trying to again book their ticket and earn a high seed in that national championship. And the Brock Badgers, Alex, 15-6 in the 5th set, taking down the TMU Bolts. And they will be hosting the McMaster Marauders in the OUA Championship in what should be an outstanding battle between those two sides. But again, an outstanding season for the Queens Gaels women's team. They'll certainly be back with a lot of key pieces that'll be in the roster and in the lineup next year. So the McMaster Marauders, though, come down into Kingston and take a 3-1 victory against the Queens Gaels and have qualified for the OUA Women's Volleyball Championships that'll take place next weekend. And thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. And stay tuned as the Queens Gaels men's team will take on the visiting Brock Badgers for a trip to the OUA Championships as well, as McMaster will be hosting the other men's volleyball semifinal. So again, we'll see and talk about throughout the next broadcast, Alex, and see obviously how things happen here between the Queens Gaels and Brock Badgers, but should be an outstanding matchup between those two sides. And join us back for the broadcast between the Gaels and Badgers in our sign-off here as McMaster comes away with a 3-1 win, and we'll be heading to the OUA Championship.